want one last trip to the long trail?
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about Tekken 8, a little bit of Tekken 9, Heihachi, the Mishimas, and just a lot of things. This is going to be kind of a big discussion, but I really want to focus on this robot Heihachi topic. This is something that I mentioned in a few videos, but most notably in a video that I did 4 weeks ago. That video, it says, who will be the main villain in Tekken 8? And in that video, I was just listing out the many different characters and possibilities that we can see in Tekken 8. Of course, the big ones, you have Kazuya. Everyone wants to see Jin versus Kazuya. And I was saying in that video that I think it's pretty much necessary. We need to see that battle. One reason why I say Heihachi should not return in Tekken 8 is because I want to see those two have their spotlight. Heihachi has been in every single Tekken game ever. Jin showed up in Tekken 3, and I believe Kazuya was left out in Tekken 3. So you have both Kazuya and Jin missing games, but then you have Heihachi being in every single one. So I think it is time for Heihachi to take a break, a little breather. He can show up in Tekken 9, or he can show up like in a different form, in a different way, right? I think change the character a little bit, make him, change the appearance, but keep everything that we love about the character. Something else that I was talking about in that video as well was Ogre. Of course, he's a character that everyone wants to see return. You could say there's some loose ends in there. I talked a little bit about that. Jun Kazama, Angel. Something that I really was excited about and something I really want to see is the demon voice. There's this demon voice that sort of possesses the Mishima clan. Kazuya, Jin, they both have this whisper of like evil in their ear. In Tekken 4, I believe, the spirit, I think it's the devil. We don't really know what it is, but I think it's the devil. It takes control of Kazuya and it tries to sort of do the same to Jin. It tries to steal their devil gene powers. So that is another big contender for being the main villain. But if you guys want to hear more about who the main villain will be, I suggest you guys go check out that video. But one topic that I did talk about in there was Mecha Heihachi. Now, of course, there was memes being thrown around. People were saying put Heihachi's brain inside Kuma. And I think when we look at Tekken 7, when we look at Kuma's design, it almost looks like Kuma is like Mecha Heihachi. This is kind of how I would imagine, a Kuma sort of Heihachi hybrid to look. Of course, he's just missing the little spikes, so you know that it's Heihachi, the little hair spikes. But you see how he has that little metal thing on his head. I think this is a pretty good idea of what Mecha Heihachi Kuma hybrid will look like. But something else that we were talking about, and I was kind of memeing when I was saying this, but it looks like this is something that the developers already, I don't want to say is working on, but they already are playing with this idea. You have a full-blown robot version of Heihachi. At the end of Tekken 7, Kazuya beats up Heihachi, kills him, punches him in the chest, stops his heart. That's what it says in the wiki, and I believe it says that in like dialogue. But Kazuya socks him in the chest, stops his heart, and then throws him inside a volcano. Now, the main argument there about Heihachi returning, that is a lot to come back from. If your heart stops, first off, that is a lot. 2, you get put in a volcano. That's tough to come back from. But one way he can come back is in a full-blown metal body. Now, this is something, like I said, the developers are already working on. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but in Japan, they have pachinko machines. Basically what these are, they are slot machines, but they are in Japan. In Japan, they're called pachinko machines. And Tekken 7 has their very own pachinko machines. Now, the funny thing about these pachinko machines, I talked about this in the video that I did in the past, but some of these pachinko machines have videos. When you hit a jackpot or when you lose, 2 separate videos will play, either a good ending or a bad ending. And those videos that play, some of them, a few, are canon. There was one where you hit a jackpot and then Paul and Law, they get like money. And then there was another one where you lose and then Paul Phoenix and Law gets arrested. Someone asked Harada, why are they getting arrested? And he said they are getting arrested because they went to fight in the Iron Fist tournament without a visa, right? So that means that some of these are canon. Why else would Harada say that if it's not canon, right? But this robot Mecha Heihachi one, I do not think this is canon, but it very well can be if we look at what happened to Heihachi in Tekken 7. He died, got thrown in the volcano. If he does return, he will need a new body. Hence, the entrance of robot Heihachi. Now, I'll read the wiki. It's very small. It says, Robo Heihachi is one of the characters that only appears in one of the Pachinko Tekken games, Tekken CR. So if you guys want to find this on your own, it's Tekken CR. I have the video. I will play it in just a second. But I just want to show you guys the pictures, the images. Look at this. I think this would be wonderful for the character. I always complain about how we have these old men who are they're like 70 years old, 60 years old, 100 years old. Like, I am sick and tired of these characters who just will not die. And that's my biggest thing with having Heihachi return. If he returns, that basically is saying that he is immortal. And so will Kazuya be, and so will Jin be, and that is bad for storytelling. You cannot have these characters who won't die, at least for a game or two, right? But here's the thing. If he falls in lava, his body gets melted, whatever, someone saves him. Whoever. They can say Anna, they can say Dr. Boskanovich, just a regular Mishima Zaibatsu scientist, whoever. They save his body, take his brain out of his body, and put it into the robot. And basically, Heihachi continues as a cyborg. Now, I have a question here for all of the Heihachi mains. This is something that I've been doing lately. Whenever I talk about a character, I ask a question to the people who main this character, to the people who play Heihachi. Would you like Heihachi to be a robot, or would you be upset because he's no longer a human? His gameplay can stay exactly the same. Maybe he has some new abilities in there or something like that, but for the most part, his main moves stays the same. Would Heihachi mains like Mecha Heihachi, or do you guys think that this is sort of taken away from what Heihachi is, what he represents, and do you think this would be sort of a bad thing for the Tekken developers to do? Me personally, I don't mind. I don't mind if they did this, but I do see how this can upset people, because this is, like I said, Heihachi is a legendary character in the Tekken franchise. As we saw, he just went over to Smash. He's in the background of one of the Smash stages. Kazuya is also in Smash. So these characters are kind of iconic and really legendary. And to change their appearance in such a drastic way, you either are going to succeed successfully. Eris has a saying. He says, cruising with the top down with the hoes. You're either going to be doing that, or you are going to be, you know, apologizing on Twitter and saying, okay, we sorry, this game isn't canon. We'll fix it in the next game. Those are the two options: success or fail. One thing I compare Mecha Heihachi to is Fire God Liu Kang. I said this before, I'll say it again. I really commend Mortal Kombat for doing what they did with Liu Kang and Raiden. Raiden is by far one of the most iconic fighting game characters ever. You have Ryu from Street Fighter, you probably have Liu Kang, you have Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Raiden, and I think you could throw in King in there. Eddie is another legendary fighting game character, but Liu Kang and Raiden, for them to take away Raiden's godhood, for him to relinquish godhood and give it to Liu Kang, so basically Raiden is a normal person, and he probably will, well, in the movie that they did, in the animated movie, Raiden did die, but in the actual games, which I consider the true canon storyline, in the games he's still alive. Who knows if he'll die in Tekken, in Mortal Kombat 12. But he gave up his godhood to Liu Kang. Now Liu Kang is the fire god of thunder, or he's the god of fire and thunder, Liu Kang, something like that. But basically, he's the god now. He's the protector of Outrealm, and Raiden is kind of nothing. And that was pretty big for them to do. You have to really have a plan, and you have to really be confident in order to do something like that with two of your most iconic characters. And I commend them for doing that. I would like to see the Tekken developers start making decisions like that. Not a bunch of decisions. I don't want them just taking leaps here and there, but I think Mecha Heihachi would be a good step in that direction. Just look at this picture and tell me this does not look dope. Tell me you guys would not be happy if Heihachi was like this cold-hearted, no emotions, killing machine. You think the Jack 7 robots, but just Heihachi, just vicious. Like, me personally, I think this would be a win. I don't see how they can mess this up. Just looking at everything that Heihachi has accomplished already, the character, all the heights he's reached, everything he's done in the story, I think it's time for him to, start a new era, to sort of change. And I would love to see them make this step. I don't know. I'm very interested to see what you guys think about this, especially the Heihachi mains. If you main Heihachi, please comment. Would you be upset if they did this, or would you love it? Mecha Heihachi, or just bring Heihachi back, slap some band-aids on him, put an ice pack on, and he's good to go. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. I just want to talk about this and show you guys the Pachinko slot machines because, of course, like I said, this one is not canon, but some of them are, and I think some of these possibly will show up in the future because the developers are already playing with these ideas, so who knows what they may do in the future. But that is it. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.